My secret sauce and success for the last 20 years is just responding to people like immediately. So during the day, like my sense of urgency is like, if someone texts me, I'm going to text them back immediately. Like no matter what, if they email me, I'm going to email them back immediately. So my sense of urgency is just getting back to people immediately. And so my favorite saying is like someone texts me and I don't know the answer right now. I just say checking. As soon as I find out, I'll text them back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jesse Ray with the Growth House Podcast. Today, I'm here with Spencer Codwell. Spencer, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Jesse. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we got connected, and I always because I have so many amazing people on the show, and people always ask me, Jesse, how do you get connected with all these entrepreneurs? A lot of them obviously are based here in Scottsdale, where I'm based. And one of my best friends, Mr. Zach Keeps, one of the largest private real estate investors in Arizona, he said to me the other day when I was like, Zach, you know so many people in real estate. I want to get more connected with some of like the people that you really, have, deeply and know that they're legit. And he's like, have you met Spencer yet? And I haven't. And he started telling me about your barbecue. He's like, he's a children's author. He's got these companies that are outside of real estate. I'm like, this guy sounds like someone I need to know. And so from there, I was like, I need to meet Spencer. Obviously, he connected us through an intro on text. And, now here we are, which you mentioned, Jesse, like, why do you do this podcast? Obviously, we love giving back to the people who are aspiring entrepreneurs or real estate investors. But in addition to that, it's a great tool for us to connect for, 40 minutes and also for us just to get to know each other and kind of share behind the curtain of the conversations that we have. So super excited for this.
Awesome, man. Right on. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So Zach mentioned like you are a children's author. You're doing all these things in real estate, wholesaling. I saw on your Instagram, a couple of days ago, you do a little bit of pad split or co-living, which is something that how I got started. But for you, what does life look like right now? What are the businesses that you have currently?
I like to tell people my day job is real estate. So I've got a bunch of different companies and things around my life, but my day job is real estate. So I'm super passionate about helping people buy discounted real estate, and most of those people are flipping houses. And so that's my day job. Is I literally go through a lot of text messages and a lot of emails of people that use me. I've been doing it for 20 years. I've been selling real estate to investors for 20 years. And that's my day job, is just helping investors buy discounted real estate so they can go flip them and make money or buy rentals. So that's my day job.
I love it. Well, you're being way too humble, Spencer. Tell us about the barbecue. Tell us about the other ventures you have as much as you want to share, because I know it's not just real estate.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, you mentioned children's author. Like one of my books is The Pig Farm Boy right here. And the other one is, you can kind of see it over there, is, it's not there. But anyways, it's called Mine Are Too. But I wrote a couple other books. One of them is Buying Arizona Foreclosures, and you can kind of see that one right there. But that's kind of like one of my, I'm this type of guy of like no downtime. So I find myself when I have downtime, I might be writing another book. So I'm always like currently writing another book that eventually will come out, right? And so that's where the books come from. But yeah, for my last name, Caldwell, I am known for barbecue, Caldwell County Barbecue. We have 3 locations. We have one in the original locations in Gilbert, and then we have Caldwell County Mexico, which is like a barbecue Mexican infusion, Caldwell County, Mexico. And then we have one in Queen Creek also. Right now I'm building one in Peoria. It'll be open in January, and I'm building one in Scottsdale, be open in April. So we'll have 5 locations. So it's just not me. I got a lot of different crazy adventures. A little bit like about my background growing up. So Pig Farm Boy is a story about me. I was raised on the pig farm, and I'm a 5th generation Arizona native. And I was raised on a pig farm with my dad, who was a pig farmer, who's his dad, my grandpa, was a pig farmer. That's a children's book about me and my stories that I find absolutely amusing, and other kids do too as you read them. So that being said, so being on the pig farm is actually one of the largest in the world, like 80,000 pigs, like all of the pig farms around there. And ended up, my parents got divorced when I was 14, and we moved to the city, and I've been here basically ever since. Took a couple year break, and then the restaurants, getting back to the restaurants, like my dad knew how to do 2 things. It was raise pigs, be a pig farmer, and then he picked up a smoker at a pork expo in Des Moines, Iowa. It's like a pig farmer convention. And so he really knew how to be a pig farmer and to cook meat, smoked meat. And so that was like his passion, is cooking for like church and community and neighbors. And so in the late 80s, early 90s, the last economical crunch, ask your parents like what it was like. We all remember 2009, or whenever it was for you, 2012, 11. We all remember that. But before that, it was late 80s, early 90s that was like biggest financial little crunch. And so the pig farms have, they basically have fallen. And my grandpa came to my dad and said, hey, you can take, a little bit of money out and go do your thing, or just stay and ride the storm out at the pig farm. So he took his little bit of money out. I want to say it was like only like $30,000 or $60,000. And he came down to Mesa, Arizona and started a restaurant. And this was in 1993. And my parents were getting divorced at the time. So I naturally came down also as 14 years old. So restaurants, besides pig farming, was it's the family business, right? And I've just been heavily involved at an earlier age in my life in the restaurants. And what happened was my dad sold that original restaurant. It's still open in Mesa. It's called Waldo's Barbecue. That's like our original family restaurant. Still there, Greenfield, Maine. My dad retired and eventually came back to me and said, hey, I wanted to come out of retirement. And he says he had a come to Jesus moment how the true brisket barbecue should be cooked, because he traveled to Texas and he goes to Texas still every few months. And he came to me and said, do you want to start another barbecue restaurant? I'm like, heck yeah. So I actually funded him, and he went and knocked on a residential, if you've ever been to Caldwell County Barbecue in Gilbert, it was a residential house that he literally, when people were living in there, knocked on the door and said, I want to buy your place. And the guy answered the door and said, hey, it's your lucky day. I'm listing it for sale in a couple weeks. Call my real estate agent. I called the agent, in which I knew the agent, and said, hey, here's a cash offer. We want to buy this place. And we just, over a few years, turned it into a barbecue restaurant. And luckily, it's like in this growth area that's just crazy. Like, it's busy out there. A lot of houses and commercial, everything being built. And so it just worked. And so then we just expanded. So that's how I kind of got into restaurants is, it's kind of a random story, but that's how it goes.
That's wild. How good did it feel to be able to fund that, new dream that your dad had coming out of retirement to start that?
It felt super, super good. But that being said, it really, really worried me, because he said it was going to be like a few $100,000 and we'll be open in a few months. I mean, this turned into a few $1 million in a few year project, right? But the investment came back within a year or two, because it's done well, but yeah, it felt good. But I did that through the real estate vehicle. There's no doubt, all my other little ventures, and, real estate's where it's at. Like, all we're doing, right, is trading time for money, and real estate is where it's at. Like, it's just the best.
So tell me, how'd you get involved in real estate? Because it sounds like your family, had the pig farm, obviously the restaurants, but real estate, was that something that you picked up on your own? Was that someone else in the family that was doing? You're like, yeah. Oh, this looks interesting.
It's a great question. So I worked at the restaurant from 14 to marriage, and then I went to college, and I spent 5 years in college. And actually,
we said 14 to marriage, so I'm assuming you got married young. Am I correct?
Yeah, 21 years old. So
okay,
I got married at 21. Elisa and I have 4 kids and a grandbaby on the way. So I'll be a grandpa at 45 years old. So
no way.
Let me think. Actually, I might be 46 by the time the baby comes. We're finding out tonight if it's a boy or a girl. So big gender reveal party after this. So
dang, that's exciting. Well, you're the best looking grandpa I know.
So getting into real estate. So went to college, and just went to college because I was basically lost. Like, I didn't know what else to do with my life. Didn't have any passions or any driving forces. And so looking back, I probably wouldn't have gone to college knowing what I know now. In fact, I spent 5 years, over 130 credit hours without even a degree, not even associates or bachelor's. I think a bachelor's is like 120 hours, and I have like 130, 140 hours. But, I just kind of, my community and sense of belonging was like hanging out with people that were going to dental school. So I'm like, hey, I'll just go to dental school. I actually took the DAT, which is the test to get into dental school. And I was headed really out the door to dental school. And I had a cousin get home from dental school with a couple $100,000 of debt. I want to say like $300,000 or $400,000. And this is like in 2004. And at that time, I had 3 or 4 jobs through college. At one time, full-time college, just an entrepreneur. I bought and sold just weird company, started a window washing company, and just all other random jobs. And I had college paid for. Like, I did get some grants and stuff, and I had no debt, like no credit card debt, no car debt. And to go, for me, a debt-free person to go be in debt like $300,000 or $400,000, I was like, I'm just not doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be one of these crazy pest control or solar guys and go sell, do summer sales for summer. I'm going to rack up, I'm going to save 60, 80, 100 grand, and I'm going to put that towards dental school so I don't go so much into debt. This is 2005. Across the parking lot, my uncle was running a real estate company. And if you were doing real estate in Arizona about 2005, it was crazy. Like, everyone that knew anything a little bit about real estate got into real estate. And then when the economy fell, everyone got out of real estate.
It sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. So it was like shooting fish in a barrel. So literally, we sold a couple thousand houses to people from California coming in. And that summer I was selling like dozens and dozens of houses every single month to people from California coming. So everyone in 2005, part of the real estate crash, was buying houses. So the demand was so heavy, pushing the prices up. And also the lending rules were crazy. You could do stated income. I was 25 years old and I bought 10 houses at 25 years old. Like,
And
that's
that was
just,
because you can just say whatever you made, even if you didn't
yeah,
make
you
it, or
stated income. You weren't even saying, I don't even know. Any banks were just giving anyone and everyone loans. It's just that's the problem with the real estate fall. The demand was high and anyone and everyone could get real estate loans that weren't qualified, right? So now it's harder to get a loan. So I got 10 rentals within a short amount of time period. I was selling dozens of houses. And so the working for a summer turned into a year, turned into 2, 3, 4, now 20 years. And now I want to be funny and say I'm going to dental school next month, but I'm not. I never looked back. It's interesting because like any occupation, dentists, doctors, whatever, right? They're making money when they're like in the teeth or they're at their office, they're making money. But the cool thing about real estate is you're making money 24/7 when you sleep, and the trade for time for money is crazy. So, any job, they clock in and you're making money when you clock in, but you clock out, you're not making money. So if you can figure out how to leverage yourself and do real estate and make money 24/7, that's the ticket, right? So that's how I got into real estate. I had a very gracious uncle that was doing it, and I helped run his acquisition team. It was a property management company originally that got into sales from a guy from California, an old professor that basically called him on the phone and said, hey, I have a network of people and we're going to be buying houses in Arizona. And they literally bought hundreds and hundreds, I think like 2,000 houses from us. In turn, we managed them. And then it was just like, I was 25 and my net worth at 25 was $1 million. I was a millionaire at 25 years old. And no one could have said that. But, I didn't sell those houses. The 10 houses I had increased $100,000. And so I'm a millionaire at 25. I didn't sell them. So then the real estate market crashes and I lost every single house that I had and I lost net worth zero. And I just remember like being 25 years old, making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and like, I'm a millionaire at 25. I'm awesome. And then losing it all. So I remember pulling under an awning at my office and calling my dad and actually like breaking down and crying. Like, Dad, I lost it all. Like, I was like a lost puppy. And anyone and everyone in real estate like was leaving. Like they're leaving. They're doing anything else. So, and my dad just said a couple words. He said, hey, look, you've done it before. Go do it again. You've done it before. Go do it again. That's all he said. And that's all he had to tell me, to be like, I did it at 25. I'm going to do it again. But the problem is, it's great advice and it's fun to say and think about now. But the do it again part didn't pick back up for about a year because like all my friends that were home builders, they're like, what do we do? Everyone was like ready and losing their houses and everyone got killed. And so I was on a bike ride with one of my good friends who was a home builder, and he was stressed too. Like he was like facing foreclosure on his house. And he said, hey, I heard at the courthouse steps that auctions are like cooking up and people are buying like houses super cheap. And at that point, everyone's so burned. Like, I don't want another house. Like, why am I going to buy a house? Like, I already lost houses. I'm not doing that again. No, he's like, no, seriously. Like, if you don't go down there today, I will. And of course, I'm not doing anything. I don't have a job at this point. I wasn't one of those guys that jumped out of real estate. I do have to admit that I did join a multi-level marketing company to make ends meet. And it was called Liberty League. It's not even around. And that's how I was paying the bills, was like through multi-level marketing while in my real estate office figuring out what to do. My friend's like, hey, go down there or else I will. I'm like, I don't have anything to do. I'm down there. So I went down, and that's when houses were selling for like $60,000 in Maryvale that are now $300,000. And I immediately just started helping him buy houses and other friends buy houses. And all of a sudden, for 2 years, I was helping people buy 10 to 15 houses a day for 2 years straight, cleaning up the foreclosure mess. So my biggest year was like 2012, but it's just absolutely crazy. And so then I just started transacting like, 10 to 15 houses a day at auction for 2 years. And then I was back in real estate business, and I was back to building up my net worth. And of course the game wasn't over. I will never arrive. I'm always staying hungry and always working hard. That's kind of my real estate story there.
That's awesome. And it sounds like you stayed with that in that niche, because I think when we were texting the other day, you're like, oh man, I'm busy in the morning because I'm at the auction or something like that. So I've never, because there's auction obviously for homes, there's auction for cars, like there's different auctions. What's the process like when you're going to the auction for a home? Like, kind of walk me through that process.
So first off, like, here's my book, Buying Arizona Foreclosures. Like, if you guys want to like learn about buying Arizona foreclosures, like just get that book. It's on Amazon. But anyway, so there's judicial and non non-judicial states. Arizona is a non-judicial state. So we don't have to transact with attorneys. When someone's losing their house, the bank just takes it back. They don't have to like go get approval from an attorney, and it's just easier to transact in a non-judicial state. Is easier. It's easier for evictions. It's easier to do real estate transactions. And so the process is there's houses in Arizona that go to auction Monday through Friday. Some days there's none, just depending on filings. But for the most part, Monday through Friday, you show up. It's stereotyped at the courthouse steps, and literally it's at 201 West Jefferson. You show up, and there's a group of people, and there's an auctioneer that says, "Hey, I've got X and X Oak Hills Street going up for auction, and the opening bid is $200,000. Who's got a bid?" And then people are standing around and you just bid on the property. If you win the property, you put down $10,000 non-refundable right then and there, and then you have to pay the next day by 5 p.m. So there's
okay.
12,
So
yeah.
Real quick, when the guy's up there saying, "Hey, $200,000," does he have pictures of the house, or is it literally you guys in the crowd, whatever you call yourselves? You guys just know, okay, I know exactly where that street is. I know kind of what the house would look like. Like, walk me through how you guys make that decision, especially on the spot like that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually have like different softwares, and we put together a list of the foreclosures that are all going to auction the day before, because the data is not clear until the day before, because there won't be opening bids. You'll be like a dog chasing your tail if you chase any auction houses like any sooner. So we spend all day putting the data together. There's 12 major trustees that hold trustees. So you have to like tap into their websites and call them and, "Hey, do you have an opening bid?" So we put a list together and actually provide that free to our investors. Like go to my website, spenceraz.com, and you can get the foreclosure list for free. SpencerCaldwellAZ.com, or just Google my name. And you can get on the foreclosure list for free. And so, I got thousands of people. So they have the list the night before going to auction. Then the next morning, we drive all the properties that have an opening bid, and we check title to make sure you're buying a first mortgage. In Arizona, if you're buying a first mortgage, the seconds, the thirds, everything else falls off. And in Arizona, like even if there's like medical liens or child support liens against the house, if you're buying the first mortgage, it falls off. So it's very, very clean. You get a trustee's deed when you buy the property, which is a very secure deed. That's the process. You show up, you put down $10,000 non-refundable, then you got to pay all cash the next day. A lot of people don't have the cash, and so they use hard money. And it's easy to get hard money for the most part. If you have 10 or 20% down in Arizona, there's a dozen hard money companies. There's roughly $1 billion placed in hard money in Arizona. And there's roughly, in between auctions and wholesales, there's roughly 700 to 1,000 of those transactions per month in Arizona. So it's an awesome state to do discount real estate. And there's plenty of houses and plenty of ways to do great and good business. So that's the auctions. Yeah, so I'm busy doing that.
And then how many people are usually there at the courthouse with you?
Thursdays are the busiest days. The trustee that holds and does most of the auctions does it on Thursdays. So, there's dozens on Thursdays. And the other days, there's a half dozen or so, just depending on who's wanting to buy a property that day. So, yeah.
So I know, when people get into real estate, kind of the gateway drug per se is wholesaling, right? A lot of people start with wholesaling, especially the last couple of years. Why don't more people go more the auction route? Because I know a lot of people go door knocking, but is this something that's a little harder to get into? Is it harder because, kind of walk me through what you would even say would be the best way to get started in real estate if you don't have enough money to go invest yourself right away?
Yeah, great question. So, in real estate, there's like dozens of ways to do a transaction, but for the most part, let's break it down to 3 categories, make it easy. There's traditional real estate. Traditional real estate, let's call it, you see a listing on Zillow and you call an agent, you're like, "I want to buy that." You put a contract on it, you go into a 10-day inspection period and do your inspection period, and you get your financing lined up, and you close that within 30 to 60 days. That's traditional. And then let's do wholesale, the second of the third. Wholesale is a little bit faster than traditional, and wholesale exists because there's a bunch of ugly houses out there that basically can't be listed traditionally because they need $100,000 worth of work. And so people sell those on the discount wholesale level because they don't have the $100,000 to put into it to go retail it. So that's wholesale, right, guys? And it's a great way to buy houses at a discount that need work. And so you're buying it at a discount because it needs work, and you're putting in the money, and then you're flipping it, or you're putting in the money, you're turning it into a rental, and you're refinancing it. So traditional, you can get like a normal bank loan. Wholesale is done all cash. And so that takes out some people. They just can't figure out how to do wholesale because they don't have the cash to buy it. But there's creative ways to do that also, through hard money, through working partners. And then the third would be auctions, right? So the reason why auctions aren't too popular is because, first off, if I go buy it today, I have to have $10,000 to put down today. And then I've got to have $350,000 tomorrow by 5 o'clock put down. So people are like, I don't have $350,000. But when they start to educate themselves, like, well, I don't have to have $350,000. There's hard money companies in Arizona that will give me hard money with 10% down buying that auction property. Oh, cool. I've got $30,000. I'll go get hard money, right? And then people think, well, I don't even have $30,000. Well, go get yourself educated on how to do wholesaler auction properties and become the professional, and then create a partnership with someone that does have money and show them proofs of other people making money off of auctions and wholesaling, saying, hey, this dude bought this house and it was crappy on this street for $200,000. And I just noticed that he sold it for $350,000. And I just found another one for $200,000. I think we can do the same thing, like, and show them the numbers, right? So that's how you can get into it without having money. Create a partnership, right? With someone that does have money. So that kind of fun stuff.
You mentioned wholesale. When it comes down to it, like you said, it's a lot of more ugly houses that need, $100,000 of remodel. Is that similar to the auction, or are they homes that are actually in good condition?
No, next to all. There was actually one list ready today. There was a brand new house that went, but a majority, let me show you a picture. A majority of them are just so, this is one going to auction today. Check this out, guys.
Oh, that's a beauty. What are you talking about?
This is the house. This is not a shed. This is in the house.
Okay, for those that can't see this and are listening, it is literally looks like a shed that hasn't been visited in 25 years with a bunch of random crap that I can't even tell what it is.
That's like 4 feet high of crap. So, they're distressed houses, but that's part of the name. As an investor, we buy distressed because no one else really wants to clean it up and put the money in it. But dude, wholesaling, like, it beautifies America. Like, who else is going to take a random chance on a street that's absolutely ugly and all the houses are so bad? Who else is going to take a chance but a real estate investor to buy the house and to put money into it, fix it? And now it's the nicest house in the street, but it also transacted for the most, which beautifies the neighborhood. And then all the other neighbors are like, have now like a little bit of sense of pride, right? Like, maybe I should fix my house up. Like, right now looking like this, it's worth $200,000. That guy just got $350, so it's just, wholesaling beautifies America. It's amazing what it does.
I love that. So you mentioned having like one of the biggest lists. I think maybe Zach mentioned that. Like, you have a huge list, a huge network. Zach is all about relationships. And he said to ask you, Spencer, about kind of like the way that you build relationships and able to build your lists and your network. So I'll let you kind of run with that question. What's the way that you've kind of found the best way to have these relationships in real estate? Because like Zach says, real estate is a relationship business.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, it's just a cheesy saying, like, your net worth is your network, right? It's just like, you've heard that before. So, like, I always just say, hey, your net worth is your database. So, and like from day one, 20 years ago, like, if I run into someone and I don't know them and we're talking business, I get their email and I put them on my list, and I get their phone and I put them in my phone. Like, I have 2 or 3 people every single day text me and they're like, hey Spencer, what's up? My cell phone is out there. Google my name, you will find my cell phone. Like, I'm not one of those guys like doesn't give his cell phone. Like, I'm doing this to do business. Like, I'm hungry. I want to make money. So any other person I've ever met or talked with, or I grab their email and they're in my email. They're in my email blast. They can unsubscribe if they want, but they're getting like 4 or 5 emails a day.
They'll know right away, like, oh, I met Spencer.
Yeah, so and a lot of these people, I hardly have any unsubscribes, and I'm sending out 4 or 5 emails a day. So I send out the auction list the night before it goes to auction, an updated list the next morning, my wholesale list at around 10 or 11 a.m., my wholesale list at like 3 p.m., and then the auction list to start all over again the night before. So, they're getting 4 emails a day. If you text me and I don't know who you are, the first thing I'm going to say, hey, very nice to meet you. What's your first and last name so I can get you my phone? So I have tens of thousands of contacts in my phone and with their first and last name. And I do all my business off texting. Since you and I have been talking, I have 54 text messages.
Wow.
They're cleared out before we start talking. So,
and is this, so no CRM, like kind of a little bit old school with like on direct contact? Is there automations that you have in the back end, softwares?
No, I don't do CRMs. I don't do automation. I'm like, no, man, I'm working. I'm in this chair 10 hours a day. We're going to transact real estate, man. We're going to do it, right? I have team members that are younger than I am. I'm 45. They come in and like, hey, let's do this CRM. Let's do this. I'm like, it sounds great for you. Like, and if you think it's going to help you sell more, go do it. But like, I'm going to old school, man. The more people I touch through emails and text messages a day is the more I sell. And to me, it's like, what am I going to sell today? I'm going to sell a discounted piece of real estate. And how I'm going to do that? I'm going to find something good. I'm going to text a friend, text one of my buyers, right? Or vice versa. So anyways, yeah, I'm pretty old school that way.
Talk to me about the sense of urgency, because this is also something, Zach always talks about, and I feel like you'd probably be the same. A lot of people, especially nowadays, they have a deal come across their desk, or they have a connection that they possibly can lead to business, and people sit on it. It blows my mind. But I feel like you're someone, if you get a send a text and it's for a deal or a business, immediately you're probably calling them. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, my secret sauce and success for the last 20 years is just responding to people like immediately. And obviously in the evening, it chills out a little bit. And that's why we're doing this now close to 6 o'clock. So during the day, like my sense of urgency is like, if someone texts me, I'm going to text them back immediately. Like no matter what, if they email me, I'm going to email them back immediately. So my sense of urgency is just getting back to people immediately. I actually have, you'll see on my SpencerCodwell.com, I have like an apparel line, and one of the shirts says checking. And so my favorite saying is like, someone texts me and I don't know the answer right now, I just say checking. As soon as I find out, I'll text them back and tell them. So, and what I do, like something that can help you guys do that, if you guys want some more sense of urgency, like what I do is, I have 4 kids and a wife, and I do need some family and personal time. I can't create this urgency like so much, even though I work like 80 hours a week. But if it's like 9 o'clock at night and someone texts me and I can't get to it until the next morning, I'll open up the text, I'll send a screenshot, and I'll send it over to my email. And so now it's in my email. So my email is my to-do box. If you could see my email, since we've been going, there's quite a few, there's some emails in there, but my email is my to-do box. Like for a majority of the day, I don't have any emails in my inbox, like 0. So I just stay on top of it. I stay on my top. Like what drives me more crazy than anyone is this red box, like of text messages. Like when I look at a friend and it's like 600 and something, I'm like, I want to faint. If I had all that, that'd be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Like if I was, that are gone if I let my phone do that. So anyways, that's my sense of urgency. And I talked about a little bit about to you too. Like I don't go out for lunch. I sit at this desk. My staff brings me in food. I don't talk about what food I want or what I want to eat. Just bring me in something healthy. And I sit at this desk and eat right through lunch. And it's saved me 3 years of my occupation of not taking a lunch break. So I've only been doing real estate for 20 years, but because I haven't done lunch breaks, yeah, I've got out a few times here or there, but it's like me working 23 years. And so I've hacked 3 years of time by just sitting at this desk and working through lunch. Yeah, because to go to lunch, think about it. I've got to put everything down and I've got to go take an hour or 2 or whatever for lunch. And then when I get back, I've got an hour or 2 to catch up. And so you waste hours and hours and hours by taking a lunch break. Like, so I just decided early on, I'm not doing lunch. Bring me in food and I'll eat and just work through it real quick rather than going out. So the argument is this though, have I missed out on maybe some really, really cool like business, like going to lunch with like a cool person to like get an idea or join a business or I don't know. Yeah. Have I missed out? Oh yeah, absolutely. I've missed out, but it's worked for me, right?
I feel like there's another hack or productivity tip that you have. You give me another one, Spencer. I know you probably have it. Or even just like, how are you balancing, maybe balance is not a word that, you believe is real or exists, of the family, a father of 4, with also all the businesses you're working on, with also maybe some time for yourself and health and fitness, wellness, whatever you do. Walk me through, what that looks like for you.
Yeah, cool. So I break my day into 2 categories. It's proactive and reactive. That's just, there's 2 categories in my day. So my proactive time is from 5:30 in the morning to 7:30 or 5 to 7. And that's my proactive time. And a proactive time for me is I don't have my phone, so I'm not being reactive. I don't have like I don't even own headphones or music stuff. Like in the morning when I wake up, it's my time, and typically my time is my selfish time. Like I said, I don't have my phone, and so I'm on the road. So I run Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I bike Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So I'm on the road for an hour to 2 hours every single morning, and that's my proactive time. And so when I'm done with that, I'm being 100% reactive. I get home from exercising and cooking the kids breakfast to get out to school, having a Bible study real quick before they get out to school, just spending a little bit of time with them, assisting my wife where I can, and then I'm at work, and then I'm reactive. So I'm in my desk at 8 o'clock and, I leave around 6 that's during school year, but during the summer, I can get to my desk like at 7, 7:30 and add an extra hour. So I'm like 9 to 10 hours a day. I'm sitting in this chair 9 to 10 hours a day and being totally, reactive. And that's where my drive comes, and that's where my business ideas come. And that's where I have my day job and I look at like all my businesses and run through like, hey, how can I assist here? So I have 0 downtime. Like there's always something to be done. And so that's the other hack of time is do 0 downtime in your life. Like why have downtime? Like I'm here to make things happen for 9 or 10 hours a day. And so I don't need downtime. Like I'll get downtime when I go home here in a little bit, right? And I had downtime sleeping, and I had downtime in my proactive, not reactive time. So I'm pretty crazy. Like, I've told one of my staff members, now a partner in a couple of my businesses, Connor, he asked me like 5-6 years ago when he got in real estate, he's like, how do you do it? I'm like, dude, I'm showing up to a Super Bowl every day of my life, in that Super Bowl. Like, I prepared myself for this moment, like by practicing. It's kind of funny. Like any person that does 10,000 hours in their field is a professional at what they do. So my girl is a dancer, and she's been dancing since she's 3 years old for 20 hours a week. And she's a junior in college, still dancing. But by the time she was a senior, because of that 20 hours a week, she had danced over 10,000. So she's a professional. So when you guys are so consistent at your profession, at what you're doing, and you've done it 10,000 hours, you are now a professional at what you're doing. You're a professional, right? So to me, it's just like the secret is like sticking to something, and like even if you don't love it, find out and figure out how to love it and just stick to it. The guys win are like they choose something in their early 20s, like 21, 22, and they just do it. Like I got friends that are UPS drivers that are millionaires. They've been a UPS driver for 20 years, right? Just stick to something and just do it. So and keep at it. Don't switch around. The guys that switch around 4 or 5, 6 jobs like 15 years later, like what did I do? Like yeah, you should have stuck at the number one job, which was probably washing dishes at McDonald's, which is fine. Like figure out how to go open a restaurant. Like you learned so much there. Like, anyways, I can go on and on. Sorry, Jesse.
No, this is I love the inside of, very successful people and how they think and how they operate. Obviously everyone's different, but some of the same things keep coming up. I think you just mentioned it, and I had a trouble with this early on, where someone who has an entrepreneur spirit or wants to become an entrepreneur, we also have shiny object syndrome, where we're like, we see opportunities everywhere, but we also need to realize blinders on, do that one thing. Like you just said, the consistency at that one thing is actually what leads to success, and really a lot of success for everyone, if they stay consistent. What I want to ask you is, you're playing a game not to, I don't think, add more zeros from understanding, a little bit about you. Obviously, is that more of like it's a scoreboard? Is it for the love of the game of business transactions, or is it I do want to hit a certain number financially for myself?
That's a great question. I'm not like a big goal-oriented guy. I feel and I don't set these big crazy goals, and I never have. I don't like them. I don't like to do it. So this is me. I feel like if you're living your life in every moment, day by day, to the fullest that you know how to live it, I'm serious. Like seriously, like doing the best and being the best version of who you have been designed to be. That you don't need goals, because at the end of the day, you've accomplished greatness. At the end of the week, you've accomplished greatness. At the end of the year, greatness. And so it just compounds. So, that's a good question. I love helping people, and I love, seeing people. I love it when people come back to me and say, Spencer, you've made me a millionaire. Like what you've taught me has made me a millionaire. And so that's actually, I'm putting my community together here in the next few months, and it's called the 5-Minute Millionaire. It's my community. It's my brain download of teaching everything that I've learned in the last 20 years. And really just kind of putting that community together and having structure with mentors that have become millionaires out of the systems that I've taught through buying rentals and flips. So anyways, it's a great question. I'm not necessarily doing it to add more zeros. That's fun, and that's the product of just working super, super hard, but seriously passionate about helping people and seeing people like be successful in real estate. There's just so much to get done and so much to be had. So that's why I'm showing up every day.
I love it. I think a lot of people, obviously, that listen to this are entrepreneurs, startup founders, real estate investors. But for some of those people that are looking in would say, you guys are crazy the way you guys think. Yeah. But then again, just to like a normal person, if you think about it, if they look at an NBA player and they're like, this guy's in the gym 12 hours a day working on his craft, and he does it for the rest of his life, we'll say that's normal. But it's the same thing for you. This is your NBA. This is your arena. This is what you're winning at. This is what you're crushing it at. But then they look at us, they're like, you guys are crazy. Why are you working all day long? It's our version of our sport. We love it. We get fulfilled from it. So
it's our normal.
Something I just thought of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's our normal. I like that. Yeah, you look at an NBA player and here they work out for 12 hours a day. Like that's normal. But you look at an entrepreneur that's working 12 hours a day, you think
they're psycho.
Yeah, they're psycho. But no, that's normal. That's just what we do to to be the best version of ourselves and never to arrive, and to stay humble and just to grind, So
100%.
awesome.
Spencer, as we wrap up, I mean, I obviously wish I could, and we totally could talk for like 3 hours. This conversation is so good. But as we wrap up, if you had to say it like in one sentence or two sentences, which we probably touched on a little bit already, what does success mean to you?
Success honestly is not found in this office and working so much. It's just not. Success is definitely found through your family life. And for me, I've been married for 25 years and I've had 4 kids. And to me, that is success. At the end of the day, we don't take, any of our rentals with us. We don't take anything with us, but we take our family and friends and the relationships that we've built. We do get to take that type of stuff and not the money and the rentals and the real estate. So to me, success is family and relationships. I lucked out to have an amazing wife that puts up with like crazy entrepreneurial spirit and allows me to hasn't even called me yet and says like, what's going on? Like where I call, right? So luckily just kind of lucked out there. To me, family success, 100%. Like it's where it's at.
And then people are going to want to reach out to you. What's the best ways people can reach out to you?
I already told you guys my cell phone's everywhere, but cell phone's 480-283-4425. 480-283-4425. Just text me, say, hey, Spencer, put me on your list. Here's my email. And my email is spencercaldwell@gentryaz.com. Reach out to me. If you're truly wanting to invest in real estate, grow your wealth through real estate, through flipping properties or buying rentals, or even small business, let's talk. Those are my 3 pillars of what I do. So I'd love to help you out and see how we can help each other. It'd be awesome.
Amazing. Spencer Caldwell, my man, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Giving back and showing love to the audience. I guess one thing I want to ask for our community, we're a go-giving community. So before we reach out and, want to talk to you, obviously if they have a deal or something like that or want to invest, 100% reach out. But what's something that we can provide value to you in some part of your life?
Man, that's a really good question. I'm a little nervous launching this 5-Minute Millionaire community just because I've never done that. So maybe just telling others hey, Spencer's launching a pretty cool community in the next couple of months. Keep an eye out because I would really like to help more people in a more structured way and see what we can do to help more people. So thank you for asking.
Absolutely. And then who's that for? Who's if you had to say, here's the people that would benefit a lot from that community?
Anyone that's interested in buying rentals, flips, or small business. And that's what we're going to be covering this. Just those 3 things. Pretty darn
Love
simple.
it. Hot topics. People definitely want to check that out. I think we have to do a little AI version of Spencer in there so they can just, ask the AI questions and then your brain is just in that AI. They can spit out answers so you don't always have to do it. I think that would be kind of fire.
That would be awesome. That's awesome, Jesse.
Well, we'll definitely keep in touch, talk soon. But I just want to say thank you so much for giving back to the Growth House community. And with that, we're out.
Hey, thank you. We'll see you. Have a good one.